The helicopter landed. Okay, darling, wait 1 minute, please. Georgetown. This is the riverfront that they just renovated and built. And this man's talking about his home on Pawleys Island.
Pawleys Island?
Yeah.
Were you able to see your house?
The top, the second floor.
Is that all that's left?
Yeah, and it's 2 blocks over.
It's 2 blocks from where it was?
Yeah.
How did the other houses?
Mixed up with about 5 or 6 more houses. It's all bunched up together. It's all gone. It's right rough over there. There's nothing hardly.
Nothing's left?
If you go over there and find your house standing, you can rebuild it. But if it ain't on the lot, then you're in trouble because it ain't nothing left to bother with.
This is looking at the Georgetown steel mill, and you can see on the bank there's a huge sailboat basically plopped out of the water and placed there. This is the main street of Georgetown. It has been cordoned off. The only people there are people like this, people who come back to their stores to try to replace things, and you can see the street is totally deserted. There are police lines on both ends. This is in downtown Georgetown. The riverfront behind these storefronts here really was not devastated as badly as so many other places. The buildings are still standing. I think they had a lot of water damage and some wind damage. Some windows were gone. Here is a very good landmark. There's 1 o'clock, and as you see, there is a sailboat literally popped up right smack dab against it. And that's why we've got to talk about that tidal surge. It had to be water to pick something up and keep it intact like that. This is the marina just before you cross the bridge on the other side of Georgetown, the PD and the Black River, and there you see a huge cabin cruiser butted up right against the bridge. Literally, there's nothing left of that marina except some pilings. The dock itself is just gone. And here again is the boat. It's literally almost as if it was a car. It's almost on the road. It's right butted up against the bridge near the PD River. This, as you see, is the beginning of even more devastation. This is Pawleys Island, and you can see the houses and the roofs have all been displaced, and there's literally just trash and debris everywhere. We had to have special permission to even get out there on the island because the National Guard are there watching people, and there's a curfew. Only residents are allowed there, and those residents must be off by 6:30. Is this your house?
It was. Yes, it was. At one time. All the way back.
Were you shocked when you got here?
I don't think. Yes, we were devastated when we got here. It was awful.
What are you going to do?
Hopefully we'll be able to rebuild.
Where are you going to stay in the meantime?
Well, now, this is just a vacation home. We live in Georgetown.
You must feel lucky.
Yeah, we're very lucky that we do have another home to go to. So we'll just build.
Is probably the most positive thing about Pawleys Island is that most of the homes there's a phone in the middle of the rubble. Most of the homes there are secondary homes. So that is one positive thing, and you've got to find something positive in this devastation. All over Pawleys Island, I saw sinks and toilets, because I suppose they're very heavy, and they're the things that lasted. You could see right through that mailbox. This is a panoramic view of the southern end of Pawleys Island. For those of you on 97 FM or 1390 AM, we're looking at literally, virtually, it looks almost like a desert with just some, maybe one floor of a house, not even two. And a man that we're about to talk to right here talks about his house that's been totally misplaced.
Over underneath the yellow submarine, which is over here, it's another house on top of it now. And this house, for example, behind you, the lollipop, sat over here where this doorway is. That doorway.
It was totally picked up and moved?
Well, turn around this way. Okay? See the house right here? Don't worry about me. I'm okay. See the house right here with the wood showing? That's the lot that came up right here, where the fence is left. Bill Stackhouse out of Bishopville, Reverend Stackhouse, that's his house. And it was right here. They just like decided to go in ways.
Do you know of anybody? When did you evacuate?
Thursday. I was lucky enough to get a U-Haul in to get my valuables out. And I've got that.
Are you shocked?
They've been in for 3 days, since Thursday. Everybody is. Yeah, you have to be also.
Looks like a war zone.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to. No more TV? I want to be interviewed, please.
Everyone is very, very emotional there, as they are everywhere. Look at this. The entire roof has been taken off of this home, and you see there an empty lot. Literally, the homes were picked up and moved across the road onto other houses. It was like pickup sticks. It's as if they weighed nothing. You can just see the pilings left. This is another picture right here, just a view of how so many of the homes are no longer there, yet 2 doors down, a home is still standing. A chimney was left at this house, and basically the concrete foundation, and that was just about it. In one section of Pawleys Island, about 10 homes were just as if a bomb had gone off. It looked like Hiroshima or something, and you can see people sparsely walking through there trying to pick up some of their belongings. This woman is from Charleston.
The one that was behind that is right over there, the Molly farm. And all of the houses in front of my house and those on the side are gone. The house is still standing.
Have you talked to the people who lived here?
No, I have not.
You must have been shocked when you walked out here.
I was, and gratified. But I feel that I earned it.
What do you think picked up these homes and took them over here?
What do I
Tidal wave or a tornado?
I think it was a combination of the water and wind. I don't know if, I've seen devastation from West Ashley all the way up 17 to Pawleys. So, I think it was actually the wind rather than individual tornadoes, because everything was the same. The trees are sheared off in the same way from West Ashley all the way down.
She lives in West Ashley in the Charleston area. Look at this. This is literally what's left of this house. It's really a peculiar thing, the way the wind and the water can pick certain things up and leave other things. There's really no rhyme or reason as to what it leaves and what it takes with it. What you're looking at now is what used to be the road on Pawleys Island. It's now literally a beach.
From the beach all the way through to the creek, and it went under our house and into our bottom bedroom. And we lost our dock out on the creek, and we lost everything on the front, on the beach side.
You know,
but we're
people
very lucky to have a house.
That's right. And people have talked about if a hurricane came here, what would happen. And is this really kind of your worst fears?
What do you say, Austin? I think it is.
This is so much worse down at this end than it seemed to be up in the middle of the island. We haven't been up to the north end yet, but this is just horrible right through here. I don't know whether this is the worst place or whether it's even worse than this on down south.
There are homes that are just totally gone. They've disappeared.
Is that right? You see some homes back here in the creek.
The horrible thing for us is that we're from Atlanta, and we didn't know until we got here if our house was still standing.
The not knowing is so difficult.
Right, and we were supposed to fly out of there this morning at 9, and the flight was canceled, so we just got in our car and drove. Just got here a while ago.
It's very emotional, isn't it?
It is very emotional and very depressing. But thank goodness most of these homes are second homes, and I feel sorry for the people that have lost their number one house. A lot of the people outside of Charleston that don't have the means to build.
Here is what's left of another home. The entire front has been removed, and all the furniture, all the walls have just tumbled down into a huge pile. It looks like a construction site, literally. And here you see what's left of another home. The whole front has literally been ripped off. I can't imagine the kind of equipment it would take to do what the wind did in less than 3 hours. A beach chair sits in the middle of the road underneath what used to be a house. Now it's simply a place that probably could be used for firewood. Here is a lot that was really kind of an emotional thing for me to see, because I don't really understand why some things were spared and some things weren't. For those of you on radio, what we're seeing now is a lot with simply concrete and dirt and a rotten, bent iron pole with an American flag that's tainted and dirty and worn and has been flying in the wind. It's standing. It's still standing amid all of this devastation. And for me, I thought it was really symbolic, because a lot of people are talking about how amidst all this horrifying natural disaster, so many wonderful characteristics from so many people are coming out. And that's really what this particular lot showed me. A barren lot with literally pilings left and nothing else, yet the American flag stood hanging on a rotten, bent pole out of a concrete slab. So that really was very symbolic for me. Now I'm walking down what used to be a paved road. It's now covered in dirt, as are most of the roads up the coast. The beach is probably, feet less than it used to be, because the sand has spread out over such a large portion of the area. This is one house that, as you can see on the bottom, the foundation has just totally been lifted. This is a washing machine in the water in the creek, and a family who has come to the creek to pick up some of the belongings that used to be in their home. They're fishing them out of the water. I heard a woman say, "This is the battery charger I told you to get. Look." She reached down in the water and picked it up. It had been in her home, and she found it across the road, across a lot, in a creek. There are some telephone poles still standing on the island, yet so many of them were pressed down into the sand and the wires were tangled up. And we will get closer to these houses in just a minute. But what you see here is a very bad pan on my part. Definitely not very experienced in taking pictures like this, but I just wanted to take some to show you that so many areas share in this. You think that you want everyone to hurry, but they're in as bad a shape as we are as far as being in a position to help us. These pictures were taken yesterday as I rode up Highway 17 up the coast, and I stopped at several beach areas, and this is a horrifying sight. There's nothing left. Nothing left right here. The people who came to check on their house here found nothing, absolutely nothing. I imagine now, as you see these people going through the rubble of their home, Now I think people are really feeling like, you know, I'm lucky to be alive. And this is such an irony. The name of this house is A Blessed Isle. And the house is still standing. And so I guess this was a blessed house. But I thought that was very ironic, and there were so many ironies that you see throughout this experience that we can, I suppose, think really long and hard about. A Blessed Isle is the name of this house. And again, here's another picture, I think, that really says a lot. An American flag that's still standing amid the rubble of, I would say, 8 homes right here in one particular corner. Apparently, a tidal surge literally picked up these homes off the foundation, took them back probably 300 or 400 feet, and just congregated them into one pile. This is what's left from one home, a duck and a phone. You can see out the back window that there's literally nothing inside. This guy is here to clean up what's left of his house.
It was across the street?
Yeah, right on those pilings right there.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. This was one of my dad's houses, actually.
What was lost?
Well, it was all our furniture. We got anything that was valuable out of here, but that was about it.
Many people on the island. That's all that's left is maybe a wall, maybe a chair. I'll tell you, the more you look at the pictures, the more you just can't understand. How can a house be moved, but yet a telephone stays? How can a house disappear, yet a saucer remains where the house used to be? It's really a phenomenon that it's very, very difficult to understand. About a month ago, I guess, in U.S. News and World, there was an article about hurricanes and how scientists are learning to track them. And it says that they start forming under the ocean years ahead of time. The doghouse is the name of this sign. And you see this yellow house right here. The roof is really all that's left. And I thought about that because that is one of the 2 houses that my extended family stays in on this 1 week during the summer. My family and aunts and uncles and cousins go to Pawleys for 1 week every summer, and the yellow house you saw there with the roof off, and another house are the houses that we usually stay in. So it's really very strange to see things like that. We're going down the road now, which is basically muddy and wet, but I'll tell you, it's you can still pass by on some of these roads, which is very, very good. This is moving video now of some of the houses on the backside, which did not get the damage that the South Island got. We're leaving the island here. The South Island, there's supposed to be a channel now, and it separates it because the south part of Pawleys Island is just gone. Is just gone. There's nothing there. There's a channel. Docks are gone. Everything's gone. This is Litchfield Inn, and this looks as though it's a beach, but it is the road that goes through Litchfield, which is just absolutely covered in sand. And you see a family who did not have the time or knowledge to remove all of their belongings, backing up a moving truck and putting all of their belongings in there. And you see that it's not even easy to do it in the aftermath because they're shoveling out the sand from underneath their car if they were removing some of their goods in. You can see out the window that second row homes on Litchfield Beach are basically just slimed through with mud and sand. Through the entire bottom floor of this is basically sand. Some wind damage on the beachfront homes, but I think although some people were very disappointed to find the awnings and the bottom part of their house gone and their chairs, I think most of the people who return to homes that are still standing feel very, very lucky because at this point, everyone can still look at other people and say, gosh, I'm luckier than they are. And everyone, even those who lost their homes, are saying, you know, we're still alive, we're still alive. So to a certain extent, as Debbie mentioned earlier, I think we're probably all in a denial, survival kind of state of mind that we can't believe it's really real. We think, okay, we've had enough of this. Let's wake up and let it all be gone. I think that sometimes you just want to run away from it all and come back and it'll all be fixed. These people aren't running away. As a matter of fact, they're not even getting away in their car. You see them loading up all the mattresses that were in their home that they apparently literally can't even live in anymore, packing them up, and they'll travel down that road to try to get out. These are the cars outside of another area of Litchfield who cannot drive in there. They've parked along Highway 17. Many people have brought their U-Haul trucks. They're going in and getting their goods. This is Murrells Inlet. This is the last shot on this tape because, unfortunately, so I'll tell you what I saw there, and that is that Murrells Inlet received a lot of water because little area where there were docks and boats are basically gone. A lot of people were asking about some of the restaurants there. Drunken Jack's is still standing. Anchor Inn, I think it's called, is still standing. Flo's Place received a lot of damage. The area right there that I'm talking about received a lot of damage, but they're still standing. We had reports before we went into Murrells Inlet that some of the restaurants were just gone. We did not see that. It was difficult to get into all these areas.
Harder than they were.
You're kidding, like
no,
what, Governor?
I'm not kidding. Your front beaches at Surfside and places like that were essentially just devastated 2 or 3 rows in. This thing is enormous. The power of this storm, what seems to have happened is, best everybody can judge it, is that the full force of the winds hit Charleston.
Right.
The water and the wind hit Folly Beach. Some of the water, but mostly the wind hit the barrier islands out here. The reason being, if you look at them, the sand is not covering the roads. As you go up, you find as much as 3 feet of sand over the roads, and the total destruction, which was a wall of water that went as high as about, it looks like 15, 17 feet in some places. It did hit McClellanville. That wall of water hit McClellanville, and it hit partially in this area. I mean, it just, you can't imagine what has happened in different places.
Governor, do you have any estimate statewide of the total amount of money that we're facing in terms of losses? It's almost $2 billion with a B in Charleston County alone. Any estimate statewide?
Well, we think that we're in the billions. I think I'd been saying hundreds and hundreds of millions, which can add up obviously very quickly. But as you bring in Dorchester and Berkeley counties, who were very hard hit, Sumter County, those counties all took a terrible beating, inland, and then you add up all of your Grand Strand area, which the coast of the Grand Strand is just wiped out. The hotels are just hanging over the beach. If you see them later there, Folly Beach gone, the city of Charleston, the number of people that are impacted in the city of Charleston. I mean, this is the problem, the infrastructure that's wiped out. Those are the kinds of things. We're in the billions of dollars, I would assume. Now, I'm like everybody else. I can't tell you what it's going to cost. All I know is it's going to cost more than I can ever imagine in the way of money.
Governor, while we're watching pictures now, Governor.
So the house is just sort of scattered from one end over like how much space?
From probably 3/4 of a mile up and down. We found parts of furniture and boards that far.
Is this your furniture over here?
No, ma'am.
That's part of our bed. Again, that's part of our bed. This isn't our furniture. I don't know whether this is part of our roof or not. The shingles were the same.
That's my cookbook.
That's my wife's cookbook.
I have a collection of cookbooks. I can't imagine what it feels like to walk through your property and to see your bed on one end of the property.
Well, when we first came back from the river, when I was on my boat when it sank, we came back, and it took over 2 hours to climb over trees and under trees, you know. And when we got here, you know, but it was just nothing.
Yeah. Let's walk some more.
So we, you know, had our big cry, and that was it.
Did you cry first? I wonder, what do you do first, Wimpy? What do you do first?
Well, you know, you're kind of lost. You've never seen anything like this, and I guess you're in shock.
Yeah. Are you still in shock? Have you recovered yet?
Well, I don't know, really. You know,
No.
we don't know.
That's my rocking chair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your rocking chair.
That's my rocking chair.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is how that light beer can ended up on the arm of the rocking chair.
I think that's a prop.
Is that yours there?
Yeah, that's our kitchen table.
That was the table we had in the kitchen. The barn used to be right over here.
So it's almost like the house just exploded or something.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking at the chairs, the two green chairs
That's
over
one of our houses.
Those are part of your house over there.
The little car was my daughter's car.
These your clothes here, Donna?
Some of them. My lamp.
This is some of the stuff we just picked up. She's picking up one shoe here and one shoe there, and a piece of clothes here. And
Trying to get for inventory.
that was my wife's birthday card to Santa. Or something, I think, was a birthday.
When was your birthday?
March.
I love you, Shug, Wimpy. You know, it's got to be hard. There's no way anybody can. I mean, I really.
Yes.
I don't know what to
bad.
say. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Unbelievable.
This was our bedroom here, where that fireplace was. And that was the den. Kitchen was back here. This used to be pretty. Boy, this was a beautiful place. Yeah. Everything you collected for 27, 28 years is gone.
This is Wimpy White and his wife, Donna, and when we come back, we'll talk to them and to many, many others who have lost their homes. We'll be back in a moment.
I'm an SCNG lineman. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, and I want to try to help you understand what it takes to get your power back on. Hurricane took out 3 major power plants. We've got miles and miles of transmission lines down. Then we go into the neighborhoods and pick it up circuit by circuit. This outage is so bad, we've got crews from 6 other states helping us 24 hours a day. Getting your electricity back on is our #1 priority.
Told that the house was gone, but you cannot ever believe or imagine that it is.
When somebody tells you it's gone, you know,
totally
the word gone, you still believe there's something here. I don't believe there's much to be salvaged. What furniture you can see, we had
that little pile.
I mean, that's a little pile of furniture. But
Out of a 5,000 square foot house that was filled with furniture.
Yes, yes. Oh.
Don't you find it kind of eerie as I was coming through here? People's clothes in the trees and hanging in the trees. It's like...
We would come in and we'd say, oh, that's my dust rifle. Oh, you know, that was in my bedroom. You know, and that was my bedspread. Or those were my sheets. They're just way up hanging in the trees.
Someone wrote a book a long time ago saying, first you cry. Is that what you do first?
We did a lot of that.
We're still doing a lot of that. It's been very hard.
Okay, darling, wait 1 minute, please.
Let's see what this
is. Georgetown. This is the riverfront that they just renovated and built. And this man's talking about his home on Pawleys Island.
Pawleys Island?
Yeah.
Were you able to see your house?
The top, the 2nd floor.
Is that all that's left?
Yeah, and it's 2 blocks over.
It's 2 blocks from where it was?
Yeah.
How did the other house?
Mixed up with about 5 or 6 more houses. It's all bunched up together. It's all gone. It's right rough over there. There's nothing hardly.
Before you cross the bridge on the other side of Georgetown, the PD and the Black River, and there you see a huge cabin cruiser butted up right against the bridge. Literally, there's nothing left of that marina except some pilings. The dock itself is just gone. And here again is the boat. It's literally almost as if it was a car. It's almost on the road. It's right butted up against the bridge near the PD River. This, as you see, is the beginning of even more devastation. This is Pawleys Island, and you can see the houses and the roofs have all been displaced, and there's literally just trash and debris everywhere. We had to have special permission to even get out there on the island because the National Guard are there watching people, and there's a curfew. Only residents are allowed there, and those residents must be off by 6:30.
Is this your house?
It was. Yes, it was. At one time.
The helicopter landed.
On my back.
Were you shocked when you got here?
I don't think. Yes, we were devastated when we got here. It was awful.
What are you going to do?
Hopefully we'll be able to rebuild.
Where are you going to stay in the meantime?
Well, now, this is just a vacation home. We live in Georgetown.
You must feel lucky.
Yeah, we're very lucky that we do have another home to go to. So we'll just build.
Is probably the most positive thing about Pawleys Island is that most of the homes there's a phone in the middle of the rubble. Most of the homes there are secondary homes. So that is one positive thing, and you've got to find something positive in this devastation. All over Pawleys Island I saw sinks and toilets, because I suppose they're very heavy, and they're the things that lasted. You could see right through that mailbox. This is a panoramic view of the southern end of Pawleys Island. For those of you on 97 FM,
nothing's left? If you go over there and find your house standing, you can rebuild it, but if it ain't on the lot, then you're in trouble, because it ain't nothing left to bother with.
This is looking at the Georgetown steel mill, and you can see on the bank there's a huge sailboat basically plopped out of the water in place there. This is the main street of Georgetown. It has been cordoned off. The only people there are people like this, people who've come back to their stores to try to replace things, and you can see the street is totally deserted. There are police lines on both ends. This is in downtown Georgetown. The riverfront behind these storefronts here really was not devastated as badly as so many other places. The buildings are still standing. I think they had a lot of water damage and some wind damage. Some windows were gone. Here is a very good landmark there, 1 o'clock. And as you see, there is a sailboat literally popped up right smack dab against it. And that's why we've got to talk about that tidal surge. It had to be water to pick something up and keep it intact like that. This is the marina just before